Hiya, and this one's something slightly different. Today's video has been replaced by this because I need to talk about it, and I don't want to talk about it over a game. So in the future videos, obviously I'm gonna say tomorrow or Friday or Thursday. Everything's been pushed back a day. The reason being is I want to talk about a video which I watched this morning. Now, I want to, before we do anything, there's no hatred here. I watch a lot of this creator's content, especially it's Zealand Shannon, especially the Zealandisms. I find quite interesting to learn or hear his take on various things, and 99% of the time I completely 100% agree with his take. On this occasion I don't, so rather than I did leave a comment and I just wanted to talk about it, because I think it's only fair, and I welcome Zealand to respond to this if he sees it. I will forward it on to him on release, so that, you know, if he decides to look at it, if you guys share it with him, maybe it's something that he will pick up. And if you're watching, thank you. But the Sam Morsy video on Zealandism, I'll link the video in the description below. I'm not going to play any of it here because it's only 13 hours old, and for me, as somebody that makes videos, although this channel's not currently monetized, I don't get enough views. The first sort of 24 hours is when you get views, and if I'm taking views away from that, even if it's only one, I don't think it's right. So you won't see the video here, but the video will be in probably the pinned comment or the description below, maybe both, to make sure you go and watch it. Now, this is something I've heard quite a few people talk about, and I've seen newspaper articles, it's all over the media, and Sam Morsy not wearing the rainbow armband. Now, first of all, I think it's only right that we talk about Ipswich Town as a club. I say we because I support them, as many of you probably know. We are very much a community-based club, and everything we do is to support the community, the players, and the staff. Since these new owners have come in, they're not afraid to put the not necessarily popular opinion over what, you know, they're not afraid. How do I word it? They're not afraid to show people an unpopular thing if it supports. I've just thrown my pen on the floor. If it supports either a player or a member of the community, they're not afraid to say no or yes. We were in trouble with the EFL over other things for supporting our rights to show support for people within the community, and the EFL fined us for it. We're not afraid to be unpopular with the outside world if it helps the club, helps the community. And that's where you've got to take this Sam Morsy thing into consideration. Now, Zealand was talking about how Sam refused to wear the band, but yet he was wearing the club sponsor. Now, I know Sam Morsy, and I've seen him interact with every person under the sun, whether they be gay, straight, lesbian, trans, blue, green, white, orange. Although Donald Trump, I think, would be an exception. Sorry. But I do feel that you can't put those two cases side by side. And for me, this is where Zealand's naivety to the club, I think, he'll be the first to admit that he doesn't know an awful lot about Ipswich. He probably doesn't know as much about the EFL as he would like to admit. I think that goes for generally most people, especially outside the country. Everything's focused on the Premier League, so you don't see reports as often on the EFL. But I just want to point out that if Sam Morsy, the club, had forced him and told him that regardless of his beliefs, he had to wear that rainbow armband, he would have. Because that's the type of person Sam Morsy is. He will put the needs of the club over his own beliefs a lot of the time. Now, when he was wearing the Middlesbrough kit with the 32 red, or I believe that there was no option. They were the club sponsors. He had to wear the club kit. He had to wear the club sponsors. And he's got a young family, so to say, well, why didn't he just leave the club? That's not an option. These guys, beyond all, are making a living. Sam Morsy, this is the first time Sam Morsy has been in the Premier League. He is an EFL player. He isn't earning £150,000 a week. Yes, he's still on good money, but he's got to support his family for the rest of his life when he retires. And most of it, he's been on probably £5,000 to £20,000 a week. So, yes, that is an extraordinary amount of money. But on the grand scheme of things, is it? Considering when he retires, potentially that's it. That could be the end of his income. And that is why footballers get paid what they get paid, because the career is short. But anyway, yeah, the point is that in the Middlesbrough team, he was forced to wear that that sponsor. Ipswich are open, and Ipswich do what's right for the players, the staff, the club, the county. The new owners are very, very much about unity. Kieran McKenna is very much about unity within the club, and that obviously includes the area, the fans. The club spends endless amounts of not only money but staff and players' time with the community, with community-driven projects. The owners are fully backing of the community, the club, and the owners have said, regardless of what league we're in, where we are, they will let the club spend as much as they possibly can within FFP rules. So, the club, if the club makes X amount of money, the owners are going to put in the rest to make sure we maximise FFP without going over. They've stated this as a fact, and letting Sam not wear the armband. Now, it doesn't mean that I've seen reports, he's homophobic, he doesn't want to wear the armband, he's homophobic. So there's a difference between not believing in something and believing that if you support something, you'll go to hell, and being outright prejudiced against it. People need to realise that, people say, this and that, but it wasn't that long ago that Christians were stoning gay people, and they did it for hundreds of years. It's a touchy subject, but I do feel that Zealand didn't quite understand where the club stands, and the club will support its players. They support Morsy with his religion, and they give him time throughout the week to pray and give him meals and support him when he is fasting. And they have, obviously, every football club has a I've forgotten what they're called, food expert, because I've forgotten the word. It begins with T. You guys all know. That supports him through that, and they've hired a specialist to support particularly those that are fasting within the club, and he's not the only one. Now, my point is an FA/Premier League question. Now, why is it that the captains should wear this armband regardless and be outed by media if they don't, but other players don't? Now, if the Premier League wants to support causes like this, like no racism in football, well, the no racism in football, everyone takes the knee. So if one or two don't, well, I've never seen people not take the knee, because racism is just hatred. But why not say to the football world and put it out there that every player in the Premier League wears the rainbow armband unless they've got beliefs of other kind. Now, that will cause most players to wear the armband and support, but those with other religious beliefs don't have to. Whereas trying to force the captains to do it, then there's a very minute, 20 players wearing it. If one writes something on the armband and one doesn't wear the armband, they're going to get crushed by the media. Whereas if it was every player, you'd have, probably 10, 20 players at least not wear the armband for religious beliefs. Now, I think that's more, but yet having more players wear it being on camera more, it being photographed more, is more support than forcing individuals to get ridiculed by the mass media. So I hope to some extent I've explained why I think on this note Z's wrong. And it's not just because he's Ipswich, it is because of the culture of the club allows people to show or not show due to their belief systems and be people at the end of the day, be his own person at the end of the day, not be part of the machine that a lot of Premier League clubs, Man City, see players as. They forget that they're humans fundamentally, and they are going to have different opinions. And I'm sorry to say, but I think Zealand's fallen into that trap of forgetting that some clubs, sadly not as many as they should, see players as individual, as peoples, not as just a number within a group. I really do hope Z watches this and realises what I'm trying to say. I'm not sure if I've explained it particularly well. It's a ranty video, I know, and I'm not going to edit it. It's going to go up raw. This is my raw response. And yeah, I hope it gets to him. And I hope he realises that maybe this isn't as black and white as I've done my research, but he wore this and his religion says he's against it. Sam Morsy has a job to do and will do that job. It's the club at the end of the day that's allowing Sam Morsy to be Sam Morsy, whereas most other clubs don't allow players to be players. They only see them by that, how much money they cost and how much money they make. But with all that being said, that's me done for the day. As I say, this is replacing the video that should be out today. I've ranted for 17 minutes. I think you've heard me go on long enough. But if you've enjoyed it, please leave a like. Also, I want to see comments down below, your opinions. And if you don't agree with me, that's fine. You know, I'm open to discussion. Like, Zealand doesn't agree with me. Zealand Shannon is still a top guy. And you know, I welcome communication with him openly. You know, you don't have to agree. Please don't get stupid in what you say down below. It's all friendly here. Any people kicking off, you're just going to get deleted. So don't bother. But if you've enjoyed that, please leave a like. Subscribe if you're new. I've been the Masked Manager. Until next time, I have spoken.